Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1640.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. I'm revved up. I've got my shine on. You're going to understand that in a minute. And I'm very excited to share with you today a guest calling in from Gardena, California by the name of Paul Schneider. You probably heard of Paul. Paul, welcome to Cars Yeah, my friend. Are you buckled up and ready for a fun ride?
Super excited to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. Before I give you a proper introduction here, what's one little thing that most people may not know about you, Paul?
A lot of people don't know that one of the things I'm most passionate about is meeting people that are excited to express their passion to me. And over the years, I've literally met hundreds of thousands of people. And it's crazy that once you give people the opportunity to share their passion, they really get excited. And it not only makes their day, but it makes mine as well. It's something I've always been really excited about doing. And, even in doing this interview with you, getting a chance to read a little bit about your bio and why you started this, that's what excited me to be a part of it and have a chance to speak with you, is that you have a passion for what you do. And a lot of people never get to discover that passion until they meet somebody that even asks them what they're passionate about.
Right. Well, you and I have discovered the secret sauce to life, and that is asking great questions and then listening for the answers. And the fact that Paul provides people a way to expand on their passion is actually really tremendous. He works in an industry that I spent decades working in, so let me give Paul a proper introduction. Paul Schneider, co-founder of Chemical Guys. Paul's talent is fueled by his ability to turn passion into innovation, ambitiously building brands that constantly push the limits of innovation and performance, all while manifesting prodigious passion, if I could speak properly today, Paul, prodigious passion to redefine the category and ultimately the industry that is car care. Chemical Guys is more than just a brand. It's really become a lifestyle. He invites, I should say, but we're going to invite you today with a passion for shine to join us. And I'm definitely a guy who has a passion for shine. Paul reminds us that it's easy to understand why people are frightened by new ideas. I'm more frightened by old ones. You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your imagination takes you. Wonderful words, Paul. We'll be back to learn a lot more about you in a minute, but first a word from our very valued sponsors here that make this show possible. Please give them a little listen, a little love, and you know what? Give them a little business too, because that's how I keep bringing you this show. Sit tight, keep your shine on. We're coming right back. The best way to protect your vehicles is with a Covercraft custom-fit car cover. I know because I've been using their covers on my vehicles since 1975. Plus, they offer a multitude of options depending on your situation. Indoor covers include form fit, dust stop, the oh-so-soft fleece satin, and their very unique View Shield, a cover that protects while allowing you to see your favorite vehicle while the cover's on your car. Amazing. Need a cover that will protect your ride outside? Their incredible options allow you to choose from Weather Shield, Sunbrella, Weather Shield HD, Block It, Reflect, Carhartt, Evolution, Nova, and Weather Shield HP. So many options. Whether you're looking for rain protection, UV shielding from the sun's damaging rays, breathability, dust protection, snow protection, even ding protection, and protection from those paint-destroying bird droppings, they've got you covered. Their soft touch covers are safe for your paint, and the custom fit keeps them from blowing off. If you live in a windy area, get the Covercraft Gust Guards. They're a must-have if your car sits outside in windy conditions. Worried about theft? They have cable locks too, with built-in grommets that keep your cover safely on your vehicle. Their website makes ordering fast and easy, and their talented customer service department will walk you through any ordering questions. They can customize a cover for almost any vehicle on the planet. And I've got a deal for you. If you use the code YEAH120 at covercraft.com, you'll get 10% off your Covercraft order. That's right. So go to covercraft.com, use the code YEAH, YEAH120 at checkout, and get 10% off on me, Mark here at Cars Yeah. Covercraft, they've got you covered. American Collectors Insurance, that's who now protects my Porsche Turbo. Yeah, the one I call my Orange Crush. When it came time to renew my policy, my carrier jacked my rates up, even though I'd been with them for years. I'd never made a claim. No tickets, nothing. What's with that? Adios. So I started shopping around and kept hearing about American Collectors Insurance from fellow automotive enthusiasts, friends, and folks in the car industry. I did some investigating and learned that American Collectors Insurance have been protecting collector vehicles since 1976. I'm not a price shopper when it comes to insurance. I want to be able to sleep at night. I also want agreed value protection for my special ride. With an agreed valued policy from American Collectors Insurance, I'll be paid what my vehicle's full agreed value is, a number I set with the insurer at the start of the policy so I know there will be no surprises about what my car's value is, should something terrible happen. I shopped around and decided to protect my car with American Collectors Insurance. Give them a call for a quote today at 866-ACI-YEAH, that's 866-224-9324, and protect the ones you love. Make sure you tell them Mark sent you. You'll be glad you did. American Collectors Insurance. Classic car insurance designed by collectors for collectors. All right, Paul, we're back. And, you're a guy that I think this would be a great question for. Your inspiration and your thought process of what you do. I would love for you to share a success quote or a mantra, some kind of saying that it has some meaning for you about what your meaning in life is and how you help people. It's a nice way to get I always say the tires turning, but I'm going to say the random orbital wheel spinning since we're talking about polishing and taking care of cars. So grab the wheel or grab the orbital.
Well, I guess my favorite one's always been you are where you are because that's where you want to be. When I was a kid and I first came to America, a close friend of the family told me that line and never understood it. And as I got older, I kept understanding it better and better. And I wrote it on my wall in big letters, you are where you are because that's where you want to be. And I've always kind of strived through life to live by that and kind of ultimately put out not only the best version of what I could do, but if there was a dream or a vision that I had or a dream and a vision that our team at Chemical Guys or my friends or a customer had, if I could do anything to create the best version of that. But ultimately, if a customer came in, they weren't in a happy place, or if an employee wasn't in a happy place, or they had a great vision and they couldn't bring that to reality, it's part of our team kind of motto and ultimately what Chemical Guys is a giant global family in helping people achieve whatever their dream is. And I think Chemical Guys is the true definition of that because in developing products and developing this platform they have, which is all the awesome detail garage stores and, having the classes and the courses and the YouTube channel, it's all about putting people in the seats that ultimately make them the happiest. And that's what I think, kind of makes me smile every morning I wake up and every day I go to work is knowing that, we not only have an amazing team, but literally millions of people across the globe that finally found that perfect seat that they've wanted for a long time.
Oh, awesome. I love this. Now, you mentioned when you came to America, you're like one of those come to America success stories. Where did you come here from?
I came here from Romania. My mother and father came here from Romania, and they both had to go back to school and change their professions. They came here as artists and designers and went back to school and became an architect and an estheticianist and kind of showed me that, ultimately my original saying of you are where you are because that's where you want to be really comes to life. And I've always kind of fought for those things that I've wanted to achieve in life and ultimately find a place that I want to go to every single day, a job that I want to do every single day, that I wake up excited. So I never have to say, oh, I got to go to work tomorrow. Like I wake up with the biggest smile on my face because I get to have fun every single day.
You figured out the secret sauce to life, my friend. And
thank you, Mark.
Kudos to you and to your parents for bringing you to this great country and showing you that anything here is possible for anybody. It doesn't matter. But of course, you got to work hard. And what you built, I know because I did this for decades. It takes a lot of hard work. So I'd love for you to share. You've shared a lot of the philosophy around Chemical Guys. I'd love for you to share more about this excitement you have every day that gets you fired up. Kind of walk through all the different things that you guys offer, what you do. I've watched you grow over the years, and it's just tremendous. This kind of it isn't kind of. It's a family kind of thought process here that you guys have at Chemical Guys. So take it away.
It really is. I mean, thank you, Mark. That's the biggest thing for us from the beginning was making an exceptional product. And we fought so hard to develop products that were truly unique and developed something that gave you the exact results you wanted. If you had a problem, we had a solution. What we realized as we started developing these products is you could have the greatest product, but if you didn't have a means for somebody to understand how to use it, or somebody that could help them understand it, or a location where they could come and get information and watch videos and have fun and and share their passion and their excitement and their want to learn with other people that had that same passion, it wasn't going to work. So when we first started developing products, we started making videos and content, educational videos to teach people. A lot of people go into a business for the wrong reason. They go in for the reason that they know they can make money, or they see a dollar sign, or they know I could buy this for X and sell it for 5 times X. That's not why we did it. We did it because there's an incredible feeling when you walk into a room and you have a bicycle or a motorcycle or a car, and there's 20 other people that jump with excitement to ask you questions about it. And what kind of motor is in it? How did you get that paint that way? And why does your glass look so great on that car? All these great questions. But what I found in life is that people weren't there to answer those questions. Whenever I asked myself, how do I remove a scratch, or how do I fix dull paint, or what do I do when my vinyl, my rubber looks deteriorated from the sun, I kept getting generic answers. It almost felt like the world was marketing to me instead of listening to my problem and trying to find a solution. So what we did over the years is we've developed what is the largest online video library of training videos and education, which is our YouTube channel. We've put together classes and courses at all of our Detail Garage locations. We've opened stores all across the world, and many more to come, called Detail Garage, where people can come in with any question they have, any ideas, thoughts, whether they're riding a car, a boat, a motorcycle. It doesn't even have to be a vehicle. We have so many customers across the world that use our products in hospitals, in their businesses, in their homes. And we really found that this car care category is far more than that. It's really a lifestyle. When somebody says they're a car guy, you're like, oh, you like cars. No, that means so many things. You like traveling. You like the way they shine. You like the way they look. You like the sound of the engine. You like the possibilities of them. There's just so much that you can do, and nobody asks you those questions. So ultimately with Chemical Guys is we're a manufacturer of tremendous products. We put a lot of passion behind listening to customers and listening to our amazing team in developing these great products. But then we put a lot of work into making sure that people understand the products, that they have, great descriptions and great videos, and really create an ambiance where people feel welcome to come and share something that they're excited about. Retailers, you walk in and the first question they ask you when you walk into a store is, how can I help you? What are you looking to buy? What do you need today? And, Detail Garage, when you walk in, first thing we say is, welcome to Detail Garage. How did you hear about us? And, people will say, I saw a video, or, my buddy told me, or I belong to a car club. And then the next question is, what kind of car do you have? Or, what are you looking to improve? And immediately their face lights up when they get to take you outside and show you their car, or show you a picture of their couch that they just got. And they're looking for a leather conditioner, a leather cleaner, or share an issue their wife had about, cleaning some upholstery at their house and how great their success was with our lightning fast. It kind of almost makes you feel like we've developed a place where people can always feel wanted, right, and feel excited that there's people that share things. And the platform really works, and it continues to grow with, our Smart Detailing University being available at all of our Detail Garage locations. People can come in, get trained, have fun, learn how to polish, learn how to do things hands-on, learn all about detailing. And a lot of these people are professionals that are bored with their job, kids that are looking for great ways to make money. I paid my way through school by detailing cars. And, we have firefighters and policemen and doctors, and just such an amazing spread of people from all over the world that come in that realize, wow, this is amazing. Like I can take my old baseball glove that my dad gave me and make it look new again. I can, take a leather couch and make it look good again. And there's an amazing, tremendous power that people have when they get to do something themselves and they see a before and after, and they see the results of their own work with their own hands. We see it every day in what we've built, but it's so much more powerful when you see it in a customer. When you see a smile come into their face and says, hey, last week I bought this and today this is what happened. They're so excited to share with their friends and their kids. And we've seen it, 20 years go by and their kids shopping at our store and their kids' kids coming into our store and their uncles coming to our store. And we've really ultimately seen the industry grow tremendously. We've introduced a lot of new categories into this and help people understand what those categories mean. And rather than trying to create a buzzword, which everything's always, it's the Kai berry this year, it's the mulberry or some superpower thing.
Right.
For us, it's more about growing the category and ultimately expanding the category. We started off in car care and we've become a lifestyle brand. I was outside in front of my house the other day and a cop pulled over right in front of my house. He saw me wearing a Chemical Guys shirt and he said, hey, you use their stuff? And I said, I do more than use their stuff. I work there. And the guy got out of the car, jumped out, opened up the trunk. He had our trunk organizer in the trunk of his cop car.
Isn't that cool?
And showed me pictures. It's just such an amazing feeling. And everywhere you travel around the world, I wear a cartoon wardrobe. I wear a pair of shorts, a pair of Converse, and a Chemical Guys shirt every day of my life. And it's incredible to see how many people stop you or get excited or smile or come to your table at dinner and want to ask you a question about a product, or they don't even know you work there until there's 15 of us wearing Chemical Guy shirts, and they're like, wait a minute, you guys are the Chemical Guys. It's just such a great feeling.
Well, I'll tell you, Paul, you've discovered the secret sauce to life, and I know what it is because I've interviewed 640 people now, and they've all taught me a little bit and a lot, and that is that we are our best when we are giving back to others, and you are empowering people to improve things in their lives and bring joy to their lives. And I'll bet you when you first got into this probably wasn't part of your concept, but you've learned it over time, no doubt, and you definitely brought a lot of joy to people's lives. I always like to ask people that I have on the show about a big challenge or some kind of a big failure they faced along the way. I know how hard it is to build a business. I've done it several times. It takes a lot of work, but the reason I ask this is more about the lesson you learned along the way so that you could move forward in a positive way, to perhaps share that lesson with someone else that might be facing the same challenges. So take us on a little journey, would you?
I think the biggest thing is kind of this recurring theme that just because it hasn't been done or just because the rest of the world isn't doing good at it, you can't succeed at it. And that's something that's always bothered me is, when we first started this, and a lot of people said, the idea of videos or YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, those aren't going to work. And, the idea of opening stores when brick and mortar is closing everywhere, that's a horrible idea. You should never do that. And it's never easy. You open your first store and your second store, and it's a struggle because, the mentality of people, especially now with what's going on, is that retail is dead. People aren't going into stores anymore. And I think, if you take a second and realize that now more than ever, people need humans. You need interaction with people.
Yeah.
You want to be able to talk to people and share ideas and not be behind a screen all the time. So it's really hard when you constantly, and it's a big stumbling block for me, is that you sometimes ask the universe a question and everything that comes back to you is extremely negative. It's, that's a bad idea, or, so-and-so tried that, or look at what happened to this brand. They did that and that was horrible. But the idea is much bigger. Our idea from the beginning was, listen, that's great. We understand that it's maybe not the best idea to do that, but we're still going to try it. And, we never, ideally, we never had that crazy amount of money to throw at things and do things over the top. We started small and opened a small store with a lot of products and really passionate people that, sometimes were there 7 days a week because they really loved what they did. One store now is over 60 Detail Garage stores. And we've seen over the years that all the things people told us weren't possible are now beyond possible. And people look back and say, how did you know? You never know. Unless you keep trying and you keep experimenting and put your best foot forward in everything that you do, you'll always fail. And, to us, the biggest success is when people come into a store and say, oh my God, I've asked for a Detail Garage store in my area for so long and I finally got one. I'm here with my wife on weekends and she never likes detailing the car. I talked to my dentist on Thursday of last week and he said, my wife recently purchased your speed wipe and your leather conditioner and some microfiber towels, and she's never touched the car before. We're always taking it somewhere to get it washed. And now every Saturday she gets out there and loves doing it. And it's an ultimate stress reliever. And it makes, obviously the husband happy because his car is clean, but you've transformed somebody's life. And it is a massive stress reliever now with what's going on in the world to be able to, go into your garage and detail your car and vacuum your stuff and or take a classic car and restore it, make it look great again. Because you can't always travel. A lot of us that are used to traveling the world now can't travel, can't do the things that you're used to doing. And now when you have a second to stop and do the things that you forgot how amazing they felt to do, you're like, wow, this is great. So hopefully that answers the question.
Well, it does. And I'm sitting here with a huge grin on my face, and here's why. I'm thinking, did this guy just read the blog that I put on my homepage last week? And I'm going to read this to you because it'll put a smile on your face, Paul, but it's exactly what you talked about. The title of this is, He Succeeded Because He Didn't Know It Was Impossible. And I got this lesson, or it was a story really, from a past guest, Christian Philipson, who just started La Boulide in Europe. It's kind of a European version of Bring a Trailer. And this guy is in his mid-70s. This is a big pivot in his life, starting this new business. And I'll read you the quick story. It's very short, but it aligns with what you just said. During the economic recession of 2009, there was a car dealer in the Midwest who was still going strong. But of course, in 2009, cars weren't selling. In fact, one of the manufacturers sent an intern to the dealership and they said, Figure out what the heck this guy's doing. How can he still be selling so many cars? And the intern came back and he wrote up his report, which was basically one sentence long. The idiot is unaware that there's an economic crisis. And I'm not calling you an idiot by any means, but I think you understand the gist here. You just went, you know what? Yeah, it might not work and maybe it hasn't worked for others, but we're going to give it a try. We're not going to pay attention to that fact. So my hat's off to you, my friend, for what you've done here. Absolutely tremendous. I'm just smiling from ear to ear. Let's take a short break. When we come back, I want to dive into this personal passion you have for cars and making sure they look well, because I think you and I align. I put myself through college detailing cars, started detailing in junior high, started a business that took me all the way into my first couple of years of my marriage. So sit tight. Keep that polisher in hand because we're going to be right back. Let's step away from the conversation and talk about our charity of choice here at Cars Yeah, America's Automotive Trust. America's Automotive Trust is a group of like-minded nonprofits that are working together to preserve and promote car culture across the country. Together, they provide scholarships and grants to aspiring technicians and restoration artists. They provide youth education programs and bring communities together through auto-related events, car shows, and drives. Among these nonprofits is TechForce Foundation, a great organization dedicated to solving the technician shortage that threatens the transportation industry today. By providing career development resources and increasing awareness and enthusiasm for the tech profession, TechForce is bringing bright young students into the auto, diesel, aviation, marine, motorcycle, motorsports, and restoration worlds. To date, they've awarded more than $10 million in scholarships and grants to tech students. And in times like these, I don't have to tell you how essential those techs are, keeping our delivery and emergency vehicles running and keeping America rolling. To learn more about TechForce or to make a donation to this cause, visit www.techforce.org. You'll be glad you did. My favorite collector car magazine is Keith Martin's Sports Car Market. I've been a subscriber for decades. Sports Car Market is the Wall Street Journal for enthusiasts and collectors. It's your monthly must-read, whether you dream of owning a collector car, maybe you have two, or maybe you've got 200. Sports Car Market has been around for 31 years, and it's filled with valuable articles, intelligent write-ups, and the latest auction sales. Go to sportscarmarket.com and subscribe today. Here's a couple deals I have for you just for listening here on Cars Yeah. If you use the checkout code Cars Yeah, you'll receive a 50% discount on your digital subscription at Sports Car Market. That's an exclusive offer from Cars Yeah. And guess what? Here's another deal. If you'd like to get the actual magazine, use the code BSH for buy, sell, hold. That's code BSH, and you'll get $10 off your annual print subscription. That's right, $10 off. Both of these are exclusive offers here at Cars Yeah for Sports Car Market Magazine. Just go to sportscarmarket.com and get your deals today. All right, Paul, we're back, and I would love for you to share this story with me that really instigated this passion you have for cars and car care.
So for me, it's actually quite interesting. When I was born, my parents worked all week long, and I rarely got a chance to see them. And I grew up with my grandfather, who used to have a shop. He had a 5-day shop, and he would work on cars. He was a mechanic, and he fixed race cars, and he fixed normal cars and motorcycles and anything people had. And I basically, from my oldest memory from when I was 2 years old, was being inside a shop with grease all over my hands, looking at my grandfather working on cars. And it wasn't just about the fact that he did work on some very cool cars and rare cars that were shipped in from England and Germany. And, his father was an engineer and a mechanic. His family members were mechanics and engineers, and they had this great shop where they got to do what they loved. But ultimately, they got to help the family and support the family. And it was crazy to see that, even in a communist country where everybody stopped working at 4 o'clock and went home, he would stay until 10, 12 o'clock at night and finish the project he was working on. And it was just such a great feeling, going back and remembering when people would pick up their car or their boat or their motorcycle, how happy they felt that it was running, that things were, the way they wanted it to turn out. And I get to experience that same feeling when a customer leaves with a Chemical Guys product in their hand, or they share a story on social media about something they got to restore with our product. And it literally transcends me to that memory every single time. of that great feeling when you get to accomplish something, or when you take your car to get fixed, or you install a turbo or hydraulics and they work right and things go smooth and you first leave with it, that great feeling that you have. That's the same feeling I get every single day when I see a customer pick up a product, or I read a testimonial, or, I walk through our detail garage stores and in the middle of the day, there's 15, 20 people in the store picking out products and expressing excitement. It's one of the only things. It's like when you smell something from your childhood, or hear a song that, you used to dance to when you were a kid. It's an amazing feeling.
Well, that lesson your grandfather taught you, oh my gosh, probably at the time you had no idea how valuable that was. But and maybe he didn't even realize he was teaching you a lesson, but you certainly caught on to it. What a tremendous opportunity you had to spend that time with your grandfather. I wish I had been able to spend time with my grandparents, but they lived far away on a farm. And the few times I visited, going from the coastal town of La Jolla, where I grew up, on the beach surfing, to this little town in Texas where there was horses and cows, I thought I'd gone to Mars.
How beautiful. That's cool.
Yeah, but you look at, he worked so hard, and being a farmer, as he told me one time, I said, Grandpa, why don't you ever come visit us? He goes, Mark, the cows don't take vacations. But, a lot of work ethic funneled through him to my father and to me, for sure. What was your first really special vehicle, Paul? And maybe share a memory you have about that ride.
Yeah, actually, I love cars. I've had a lot of very unique cars, but I'd say my favorite and most unique car that I still have is an Ariel Atom. And you have an Ariel Atom? Oh my gosh! I have an Ariel Atom.
Oh my gosh!
I've gone through the progress. One of my first cars ever was a 1989 Mazda Miata, and I bought it with a salvage title and fully rebuilt it. Ended up putting a turbo on the original motor, and then pulled out the turbo and did a supercharger, and then pulled out the supercharger and did a 5.0 Mustang engine, and then sold that. Bought the upgrade from the Miata is obviously the S2000, so I went through the motions on an S2000, doing a twin turbo, very beautiful gunmetal gray S2000. Then once that kind of finished its path, I went from the S2000 to the Lotus Elise, from the Lotus Elise to a Lotus Exige, and then from a Lotus Exige to an Ariel Atom.
I see a trend here. You're like, this evolution in you. You're like this chameleon that just keeps getting, I'll say it this way. I see you a bit of a Colin Chapman type kind of guy, because you just keep redefining, redefining, slenderizing, sleeking. I love it. What a story. Ariel Atom, man, you were already on a high pedestal for me, Paul. You just notched up a few, because that thing is killer.
Well, if you ever come to LA, you're welcome to take it out for a spin.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the reason I love it isn't just it's not even just the car. It's the fact that the design and the concept behind it is so beautiful. To be in a vehicle and get to see all the parts moving and feel the power. And when you turn the wheel, you see the road, you feel the road. And, kind of our motto for Chemical Guys from the beginning is, we've been transparent to everybody. We've always put all of our products in clear packaging. We've always, had products that develop exactly the results that you were hoping for. And I think an Ariel Atom speaks to that perfectly. It's, it's an exoskeleton with a motor and wheels, and it's, ultimately vehicle purity at its best. It's just such a cool car to take out. And what I love most about it isn't even the car. It's the fact that every time you're going anywhere, whether a cop pulls you over to ask questions about the car, or a little kid runs up to it and, to touch it and ask you something, it makes people happy. And that's what Chemical Guys and I've always been all about, is seeing a smile on somebody's face. Yeah. It really lightens up your day.
Wow. Very, very cool. Well, I'm going to crawl into your head, Paul. I think this is going to be a fun place to go.
Sure, man.
I'm your psychoanalyst today. You're on the couch, and I'm going to say, Paul, if you woke up tomorrow and you were manifest as a vehicle, not what you want to be, but this is your personality, your attributes, who you are deep down inside, manifest as a vehicle, what would Paul Schneider be?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I know. It's a good one.
I think it would probably be the same car. I think the reason I've had a passion and I still keep my Ariel Atom is it would be an Ariel Atom. Okay. Because I'm an open book to people. I've always, just like being on a call with you or sitting down with a customer, or sitting with one of our employees, I think there's such a magical beauty behind being transparent with people and letting people know where your intentions are, why you do things. And that vehicle definitely does that. It's not a lot of bells and whistles. You'll never see me in an expensive outfit or an expensive suit or wearing, $400 tennis shoes. I wear a $29 pair of shoes every day because that stuff's never mattered to me. I've always believed in putting out a product and putting out something that is larger than me. which is why Chemical Guys is not called the Paul Schneider Company. It's called Chemical Guys because I think I'm equally important as every customer and every employee and every member of our family across the globe. And, and looking at that car every morning when I, go into the garage, I feel it's exactly the same. If it's got a leak, it's going to show you. If one of the tires is low, or one of the brakes have an issue, or it literally, you can see everything every morning you wake up. And that's kind of cool.
I love it. Love it. Nice answer, Paul. Very well thought through. That's great.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. All right. We're ending what I call the last lap. I'm going to fire off some questions here. Have you give me some quick blips of that Ariel Atom throttle. So here we go. What's one of your personal habits that you believe has contributed to your many successes in life?
I like listening to people. I listen to our employees. I listen to our team. I listen to all of our global partners and the customers that come into our stores. And rather than asking a question and hoping to get the answer that I wanted, I've always listened, and I've empowered our team to do the same. It's really broadened out the best version of me and the best version of our brand possible by letting people speak and share their thoughts, developing great new products and making our stores better. We have a tremendous team that has a voice, and that's something that's very powerful.
Well, no doubt. How about if I could arrange to have you sit down and have a drink or a meal with anyone in the automotive industry? Who would that individual be?
Yeah, I'll be perfectly honest, and not to sound corny, it would be you. It would be you, or it would be, yeah, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
A lot of times people think that it would be incredible to meet, somebody they'd never have a chance to meet, like an Elon Musk. We've had Elon Musk come into our store. He's a block away from us. We get to meet some tremendous people, from industry innovators like Carol Shelby to so many different people that have reinvented it. But I think, for me, the most important thing, and the thing that gives me the most happiness is to meet the person that I never thought I'd meet, the customer that walks into a detail garage store, the guy that sends in an email from Wisconsin or Alaska or wherever they are. I think that's amazing because you never know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect, coming in on this interview. I didn't know a lot of things. And I think there's a certain beauty behind that is,
yes.
When you meet a celebrity or a star or somebody you always wanted to meet, I think you wanted to meet them for the wrong reasons. So you ask them the questions, how did you get rich? Or how did you get so famous? Or how did you get, and I think that's not, I always stop to smell the roses in life. I always like to listen to people. And I don't think in this life there's big people or little people. I just think there's people. And if you listen to their voice and the things they have to say, they really make your life amazing.
Well, thank you. That's very well said. Absolutely. It's one of the great joys I get every day. I always say this podcasting thing I'm doing is like Forrest Gump's box of chocolates. I never know what I'm going to get, but it always tastes pretty darn good. So, because most of my guests I've never spoken with, and I've never had a chance to get to know much about them other than reading about them. So I never quite know what's coming my way, but that creates a bit of fun in the whole process. And like you, I like to listen to what people have to say. How about the best, and I'm going to twist this one. I always ask people for the best automotive advice anyone's ever given them. I'm going to say car care advice, but this is something not that you've given because you've certainly offered a lot of car care advice, but how about something someone's told you about car care that you went, I never thought about that?
I'm going to say, I'm going to maybe take it a little bit outside of just car care and say, find your passion and make it shine. And the reason for that is, not everybody's passionate about their car, but everyone's passionate about something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what it is. I brought up the baseball from before. I have a close friend of mine whose son is a professional baseball player, and some of the best things in their house, they have a tremendous house on the beach that's worth a fortune, but the things that he holds dearest is the first leather glove that his dad gave him, the first baseball his son threw. And, bringing that passion into what Chemical Guys is and what the detail garage stores are, that's the best advice is find your passion and make it shine. If your passion's bikes, we got a product to make it shine. If your passion's cars, we got from interior and exterior something for it. If your passion's furniture or anything, even now with what's going on in the world, we launched this tremendous line of hand sanitizers and helped millions of people across the globe, which is a new market we never even thought about. But the happiness that you see when you get to meet a nurse or a doctor or a firefighter that, was impacted by what's going on, that, purchased your product, that was able to keep their hands clean or be able to be in the field longer because products weren't accessible. And I eat breakfast every morning at a place in Santa Monica called Shoots. And every single morning there's between 50 and 60 firemen that come through there.
there's doctors and nurses and cops and people that come in before their job. And it is impossible to not get stopped and go, hey, that 88 hand sanitizer that we got from you guys is tremendous.
Awesome.
Or thank you for having that stuff available when no one else did. And, it makes somebody's job shine because they know they can not only do their job, but kind of feel safe doing it. So I think that's my biggest takeaway is it's not about a product that finds an answer. It's about finding your passion and making it shine. And if you don't know what that passion is, I'd love to get on the phone with you and I'm pretty sure we'll find it pretty quick.
Right. And for some people, it's a difficult question to answer, which I always have found odd because my passion's been automobiles and taking care of them for sure. But, this is a tremendous story, and kudos to you guys for doing that pivot. One of my longtime sponsors is Covercraft, and they did that this year. They pivoted and they took some of their production lines and started making clothing that could be tossed away by first responders for this COVID situation. And I had I guess it was a listener who took advantage of a discount that I offer through buying through Cars Yeah to Covercraft. And he was angry because it took 4 weeks to get his car covered. He goes, this is ridiculous. And I said, well, you understand, here's what they're doing to help people. So they have production lines that aren't making covers for you anymore. Certainly, you must understand that. And he kind of put him back a little bit, and he realized how ridiculous he sounded, that he had to wait long during what people are going through right now. Maybe it helped him understand to be a little more empathetic and compassionate towards others. But kudos to you for what you guys did. Awesome pivot, by the way. Yeah, absolutely. Now, how about a resource that is a go-to for you? Is there a place, a website, a podcast, an app, something that you go to on a regular basis that you find really enjoyable that you might share with others?
I think my biggest resource is our tremendous worldwide team. We've been fortunate enough to turn Chemical Guys into a lifestyle and a movement. And rather than do a search online, I reach out to people that, are part of our team, part of our family, our customers, and ask the questions that I have. And obviously with social media, it's a lot easier. But one of the greatest things about being the Chemical Guys is there's a chemical guy everywhere that has an answer to something. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty tremendous. If we're developing a new quick detail spray and it's in a humid climate, I can reach out to any number of places across the globe where we have thousands of people that are using our product and get feedback. And it's great because it's real feedback and it's immediate and instant. We don't have to do focus groups or, I don't have to look at what somebody else is doing. One thing I've never liked to do is look online and go, oh, that's what that person's doing. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it better. Mm-hmm. Well, then you're just going to get a maybe slightly better version of their idea, which is not something we've ever wanted to do. But one of the greatest parts about Chemical Guys is just the fact that every day we grow and grow and grow, and those people reach out and share and feedback, and you can communicate with them and ask them for advice and help and suggestions, and they're happy to give them to you because they want their voice to be heard too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to add another great resource here, and Paul mentioned it earlier, but you got to go and check it out. Their YouTube page. If you have a challenge with your vehicle, you're trying to do something with the surface care of that vehicle or something in your home, whatever your passion might be, check out the Chemical Guys YouTube page. It's a great resource. Paul, you're welcome. Is there a book that you've read that you would like to share with our listeners that you learned a lot from?
It might be my biggest pitfall is I'm so busy working all the time that I honestly haven't read a book in years. It's my mom's biggest, Paul, why don't you read more? But I find myself working 22, 23 hours a day, and the thing I read the most are labels and our content and all of it's the funniest thing. But, to add to your thing, one of our other biggest resources, I would say, would also be our detail garage stores. We've grown our family with these incredible stores that are filled with knowledge and information, and they're very welcoming to anybody that ever has a question. Either you can walk in or, give them a call at any time, but it's really nice to have a local resource where somebody can walk outside and help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm gonna offer you a little idea here, pal, because I love to read and I've learned so much from reading, but I understand what you're saying. I get into that trap too with being busy. Audiobooks. And here's another huge secret for you. Get a library card and they'll send them to you for free. A lot of people don't know that. My wife listens to audiobooks all the time. I think it's because she didn't want to hear me. She's got those earbuds in her ears all the time. But she's been a reader since she was a little kid. I mean, she devours books. Audiobooks are something that are really cool. And I know there's places you can go to pay for those, but a lot of people don't realize your tax dollars have a tremendous resource, and that is your local library. And they will literally send you audiobooks. You can even request books they don't have, and they'll buy them and send them to you nothing's free. Your taxes have paid for it, but you don't have to pay extra for it. So check out audiobooks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, your local library. All right, Paul, we're up to the checkered flag here, and this last question can be a bit of a doozy, but I'm going to have a little fun with you today. I'm going to buy you a very cool collector car. There's a couple of rules to this game, though, that might make this a challenge for you. You can't sell it to fund your business and build some more of your garages, your detailed garages. I want you to keep this vehicle. I want you to enjoy it. When you walk out to the garage, I want you to look at it and say, that's the car I'm going to drive. Now, here's the kicker, though. You can only have one. That means you can either keep your Ariel Atom, or I'm going to buy you something today. Now, maybe it's a newer Ariel Atom or something special. So what can I buy you today, Paul? What's the car for you?
You're going to laugh, but I already have it, and I'll tell you what it is. It's a 1964 Mini Cooper.
I'm not going to laugh. I love those things.
Yes, it is red and has two white stripes, and it is 100% original, and it was owned by Charlie Chaplin.
What?
And
seriously?
The reason I love it, yeah, it's an original vehicle owned by Charlie Chaplin. It sits in my garage.
Oh my gosh!
And the reason I love it is I love everything about it. It's extremely small and underspoken, but it makes everybody smile. It has the S-Works motor inside of it, an original S-Works motor. It's carbureted. It's very built, and as small as it is, you can still fit 5 full-size people inside of it and have a world of fun.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You know, this question, when people answer the way you did, I already have it, makes me really happy. Not because I don't have to buy you a car. I'm happy to buy you a car. But it makes me happy because you found, I mean, I already know through this talk with you, Paul, and I've learned so much about you here that I didn't know. You've already discovered your passion. You discovered this a long, long time ago. But the fact that you have something like that in your garage and you're not an ostentatious guy, it fits your personality. And Charlie Chaplin being kind of that character he was, it fits that well. He didn't really stand out, but he kind of did his own thing. But everybody loved him. I think the same for you, Paul. So I'm very happy.
Thank you, Mike.
You have to send me some pictures of that. I want to see some pictures of that thing, especially.
I would love to. If you shoot me an email, I'll send you pictures of everything. I have so many of them.
Yeah.
And if you ever Google Chemical Guys Ariel Atom, you'll see the Ariel Atom at our place. You'll see it at SEMA. You'll see it everywhere. And there's over the years, you'll laugh, but if you watch our videos, you'll see a red Miata in the background of a ton of our videos.
Yeah.
That was my first ever Miata that I purchased, and it's a 1989 Mazda Miata with a crazy body kit on it. And even though I've owned 23 Miatas since then, I kept the first one.
Good for
so
you.
Almost all the vehicles, my first Lotus, my first Miata, my first Ariel Atom, my first Mini Cooper, I keep them all. I can't get rid of them because I think they all tell a story.
Well, they do. Absolutely. And you've told a tremendous story today. But before you ride off into the sunset in that beautiful little Mini Cooper, what's one little parting piece of guidance or wisdom you might leave our listeners today?
I think the biggest one is, we welcome everybody to be part of the Chemical Guys family. And one of the things that everybody in this world wants is to be loved, to find a place where they feel accepted. And that's what I think we've always tried to create from day one, is to create a place and a platform where people can feel welcome, share their passion, have a great time. And whether, it's on our website at chemicalguys.com or on our social media or through one of the stores, or you pick up any one of our products in a retail store, share your passion with somebody else. It's the biggest takeaway. If you're passionate about something, if it's a little kid or a neighbor or a friend, share that passion with somebody else. Just like my grandfather shared it with me when I was a kid, and it left an ever-changing impression on my life. I think that's the biggest takeaway.
Absolutely. Very well said. And of course, you guys listening can find Chemical Guys all over the place. I'll put links to everything on Paul's show notes page. Very easy to find, though. Just Google Chemical Guys and all sorts of things are going to pop up. YouTube page, social media. It really is a family, and the whole company has a very wonderful family feel about it. So check it out. And if you want to take care of your vehicles or anything in your home, I know you're going to find a solution with Chemical Guys, that's for sure. Paul, I want to thank you for being so generous and open with your time and sharing your life and your successes with us today. Until you and I talk again, I'll see you down the road.
Thank you so much, Mike. It's been a pleasure. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Kevin Buckler is a winning racer and team owner of the Racers Group. He has over 100 professional wins, multiple wins at the 24-hour of Daytona, and a win at Le Mans. Kevin realized the racing world is about the people and founded Adobe Road Winery. He and his team have created a winning combination with the Racing Series, 4 ultra-premium red wine blends that are in a class of their own with a racing twist. Just like in racing, these wines comprise of art, precision, engineering, science, superb taste, all blended together with a whole lot of fun. There are 4 carefully crafted blends with race-inspired names: Redline, Apex, Shift, and the 24. When you purchase all 4, you get the entire lineup in a beautifully designed gift box. There's a printed description of the blends inside the box lid, and every bottle is parked in a protective, die-cut placeholder. The bottles feature 3-dimensional labels, and I promise you'll want to keep them after enjoying these delicious wines. The box is so cool, you'll want to keep it too. The Racing Series is a killer gift for the automotive enthusiasts in your life, and I have a deal for you. If you use the code CARSYEAH, all one word, all caps, at checkout, you'll get $10 off any purchase of wine from the Racing Series. Your wine ships promptly and arrives quickly. Use the code CARSYEAH at checkout for $10 off on your purchase today. There's always a seat at the table for excellence with the Racing Series. Go to adoberoadwines.com and use the code CARSYEAH today to get your deal. Cheers! If you're listening to Cars Yeah, you've probably spent some time working on your favorite ride. But how confident are you working on your finances? You may be able to rebuild a fuel injection system, but can you decipher the details of a mutual fund? If you're like me, investments, insurance, annuities, budgeting, and other financial concepts may seem a bit daunting, but what if I told you there's a book that describes these subjects and more in an easy-to-read and a very humorous way? My friend Chris Kimball, CFP, a longtime sponsor and past guest here on Cars Yeah, has written that book, and it's titled The Saga of Ike and Penny, a couple's humorous journey through the confusing world of finance. It's a fun look at things you need to know, everything from investing to effective ways to get rid of credit card debt, and it's probably the only book on finance with a VMAX on the front cover and a classic Mini Cooper on the back. The book's available at Amazon for just $10, and this book will dramatically improve the direction of your financial future. I gave copies to each of my children. All securities are through Money Concepts Capital Corp. Christopher Kimball Financial Services is not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corp. Get your copy, The Saga of Ike and Penny, today.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.